Hey everybody, it's Christine back today, and today is Saturday, January 23rd, and we're getting ready to stamp next week's layout. In my plum paper planner, this is the 7x9 size and the vertical priorities layout. And I've got my plan all ready to go. I'll show you the stamp sets I'm going to use today. So many of these are from Sweet Stamp Shop, which is no longer in business. They went out of business maybe a year or two ago, but you may be able to find their stamps on crafting BST groups. This one is called Camp Out, and we're going to be using these cute little camper things. I'm going to use this set called Thankful for my gratitude box. I had been using a stamp from Cocoa Daisy, which I love. I just want to mix it up a little bit, so I'm going to use one of these. I think I'm going to use the one that says So Thankful. And then, let's see. Let me go through all the Sweet Stamp Shop ones. So I'm going to use this one called College Plans. I'm going to use the little binder clip for my planning icon. This one's called Play Ball. I'm going to use the hockey puck to notate the Capitals games this week. I'm going to use this set called Kitchen, and I'm going to use either this little pot or this little pan in my meal planning section. Can't decide which one looks more like camping. Probably the pan, right? And then I'm going to use, this one's called Title Script. I'm going to use this one that says Today across the top of all my to-dos. And then my for my chores on Sunday, I'm going to use, these are both Studio L2E. I'm going to use 3 of the icons from this set called Iconic, and then the little dotted circle around them from this set called Flag Builder. And I'm going to be using lots of colors this week. Last week was mostly in blue. Here is last week's, or the current week rather, layout. Lots of blue, very monochromatic. This week we're going to go with lots of color. My black images, I always use, this is VersaFine Onyx Black. It is my absolutely most favorite black ink ever. Gives you really nice crisp images. And then for the colored inks, I'm going to be using, probably not that one. I'm going to be using, actually, yes, these 3 from Versacolor, turquoise, lapis lazuli, and lime. I'll be using this Brilliance ink called Mediterranean Blue. It has a little bit of a sheen, like a little bit of a, not a glitter, what's the word that I want to use? Kind of like a metallic sheen to it. You probably won't be able to see it on the camera, but I'll be able to see it when the light hits it. And then I'm going to be using this Memento ink in gray flannel for all my check boxes. Now, I normally tell people to stay away from these 2 types of inks in their planners. The Brilliance ink you can use, it is a pigment ink, but the ink pads tend to be very juicy and you get a lot of ink and they do tend to bleed through. And then Memento is a dye ink, and dye inks soak all the way through all the fibers and can be easily seen from the back. However, the reason I'm not concerned about it this week is because this is the last week in January. So whatever I stamp over here, it doesn't really matter if I can see it on last week because I'm not going to be looking at last week. And if anything bleeds over here, this is the last week of the month. There's my bill stuff. And I just have this notes page over here, and I'm not going to be using that. So I'm okay with using these inks that might possibly bleed a little bit because I'm not going to be looking at the other side. I don't need the other side anymore. So I'm also going to be coloring with lots of different Prismacolor pencils today. I'm going to be using this gray Stabilo pen. I'm going to be using the little firefly stamp. And then I'm going to make the gray to do like the little trail of like the firefly flying. So that's our plan for today. And let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty, so I always like to start my stamping with my decorative items. So I'm doing the camper and the little lantern, which I think is really cute. I penciled in the ground so I could figure out where to place the lantern and then the fire on the other side. I'm going to go back later and fill that in with a pen. Oh, I love these little sticks with the marshmallows. I think they're adorable. And they take up a nice amount of space there, which is also cool. And then let's see. Oh, up top here, I'm going to use a technique where I put more than one ink color on the stamp. So there's like the dark blue, and then I sort of put some green over it, and when it stamps, yeah, and then I use the dark blue ink to stamp the star, so that kind of comes out cool. I'm back at normal speed here to show you guys how I use the masking paper to do an overlay when I want to layer two stamps and not see the lines show through from the back to the front. So I've got this cloud stamp, and I want to do actually two clouds. So I'm using this Inkadoo mask paper, and it comes in this package, and it comes with a bunch of strips like this. The back of it peels up, the blue side peels up, the whole back is sticky, so it's kind of like a full sheet Post-it note. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp one cloud first on the masking paper. And then I'm just going to put the ink and stuff to the side for a minute. And what you need to do is now cut that image out. And really where you need to cut is where the second image is going to be layered. So I'm going to put the second cloud below this one, so I really could have just cut along the bottom edge, but I kind of just got in a groove here and I ended up cutting all the way around. So c'est la vie. So I'm using my little embroidery scissors. These are, I find for fussy cutting, I really like these small scissors. They're much easier to handle than the big ones, and plus the blades go easier into these tiny little spaces. But so here we go. We're cutting out the cloud almost all the way. We're almost there. And then I'm going to peel off the backing. And sometimes the backing can be hard to get a good grip on to peel it. So I like to use my tweezers and kind of just try to catch the edge of the tweezers. Try to catch the edge rather of the backing paper. Sometimes it takes a couple goes, but I finally get it here in just a second. And there you go. So the whole back now is sticky, and I'm just going to kind of put that to the side for a second. And then what I'm going to do is now I'm going to stamp the first cloud, the one that's going to be in the front, where I want it. And unfortunately the page is a little bit high here, but hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the little sticker and I'm going to stick it right over top, exactly where that cloud is. I'm using just the masking paper right now to dry off the ink that I just stamped, just to make sure that it doesn't smear. That's the last thing you want, is smears. So now I'm taking the little cloud that I cut out with the sticky back and I'm putting it right exactly over top of the one that I just stamped. Then I'm going to take the stamp and I'm going to stamp my second cloud, and you're going to see that I'm going to overlay it, kind of overlap it right there. And when I pull it up, you can see the lines for both clouds, but I'm going to use my tweezers now and I'm going to pull up that little sticky paper, and there you go. See how now I've got a cloud in front and a cloud behind. So that's how that masking paper works. And you can make all kinds of cool layered, you can take your stamps and layer them to create scenes, which is really pretty awesome. So we're going back to fast mode now. So I'm stamping here some blue stars, just to make it kind of almost look like nighttime. And let's see, what am I going to do next? I can't remember what order I did everything in. Oh, I'm going to do the fireflies, I think. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm doing all the check boxes first. Okay. So I'm doing all the check boxes that I'm going to need. And I had printed out like a PDF of what these pages look like, and I sort of lay out my week first. And so I can see where I need the check boxes and how many I need. So that helps me figure those out. I had to turn the page there to get that block in the corner. Now I'm going to do my little fireflies. So I think I'm going to put 5. I've got 5 fireflies on there. And let's see what comes next. Oh, I think the little pan, right? Yeah. So I was trying to decide. I've been using the fork, knife, and spoon icon for my meal planning, And I wanted to, since I've got this camping theme going, I wanted to use like the kind of like a pan or a pot that you would use over the campfire. And so I decided on the pan, and I think it turned out pretty good. I've got my today headers, and let's see what is coming up next. The circles right there, dotted circles. I'm going to put my icons in for my Sunday chores. You would think after a zillion years of living here that I would always remember to put the trash out on Sunday nights, but there are many times that I forget. So I put that in my planner. And the laundry, if I don't do the laundry on Sunday, then I end up halfway through the week running out of clothes. So, I'm putting in the hockey pucks to notate the hockey games this week. And there's the little binder clip to remind myself to plan. And then a So Thankful stamp. And I use that sort of ombre again with 2 colored inks. That's where I'll list all my gratitude for the week. And now I'm using the gray pen to make like sort of like a flying trail for the little, what do you call those? Fireflies. Lightning bugs. We called them lightning bugs when I was a kid. And there we go. I just put the ground in with the pen, and I'm going to erase the pencil mark so you can't really see that. And now it's the fun time. We get to color everything. So I'm using lots more colors this week than last week. Last week was a lot of gray and blue, but we're throwing in a lot of green and aqua and some red this time too. So I'm coloring the fireflies, and I gave them sort of a halo of yellow that kind of shows like the glow. Decided to make the pots and pans green this time. I usually use, when I color, at least 3 shades of a color: a light shade, a medium shade, and a dark shade. And I use the lighter shade where something like where the light would hit, where it would be the lightest, and then gradate down to the darker shade where the shadows would be. But I almost always use at least 3 shades, sometimes 4. If I really want that corner to be dark, I'll get an even darker one. So I used 2 shades of brown and black on the logs, and I used brown and black on the marshmallows. Now we're doing the fire: 2 shades of yellow, an orange, a red, and then sort of a burgundy red. And then for the lamp, I'm going to do, I don't know, for some reason I think of like a fireside, like a lamp, like a camping lamp, I think of red. So I made this one red. And I'm putting the fire inside, but then I'm also going to do, again, like a halo of yellow around it, so it looks like the light is coming out into the air. And for our fun retro camper, I decided to go with the sort of lime green and aqua kind of color scheme. So you see I used the lightest green up in the top. That's where like the light would come down and it would be the brightest. And then as you go down the side of the camper, it would be more in shadow. And I decided to make the top that green color and the bottom sort of that aqua color. And I got pretty much done with this. You'll see here in just a second. I got what I thought was done, and I stopped the filming. And then I realized that I had not colored the door. Yeah, you'll see it, the door or the little flags. But here we go. I'm going to show them to you colored. See the little trails on the lightning bugs? Those are really cute. And then here comes the camper with all the color on it. Yeah, it looks much better. So this was a fun layout. Can't wait to use it next week. Hope you guys enjoyed watching me do this, and enjoy your week. See you next time. Bye.